Damon Martin, MMAfighting.com, and I am here with the reigning, defending UFC heavyweight champion of the world in Ohio zone, Stipe Miocic. Stipe, I just did my best Bruce Buffer. How'd I do?
Fantastic, brother.
How is everything, man? Obviously, I gotta admit, it kind of bums me out because of the pandemic. I haven't been able to come up to Cleveland and visit you for the last two fights.
Yeah, I mean, at least we get to talk still.
So that's true. That's
keep
true.
That going.
It's just weird. I'm like, you live 2 hours up the road from me. I'm just like, man, I was like, I remember when it was going to the DC rematch, I was like, there's no way I'm going to that gym and having even the smallest chance that I give Stipe COVID. I am not messing up this fight.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, sooner it'll be over soon. I hope. It's looking better, so we'll see.
Yeah, how has that been for you? I mean, obviously you've been in camp, but with the firehouse and everything, like, have you been vaccinated yet? Have you? Because you are a frontline worker.
No, I haven't been vaccinated, but I mean, I'm careful. I wash my hands. I'm, wear masks when I have to, wear gloves when and every call masks, and we're smart about it. We take every protocol that we need to take.
Yeah, I was listening to your podcast. I heard one of your buddies on your podcast got vaccinated. I think he said it was like the day after. Did he sprout a third head or anything like afterwards? I didn't hear the full aftermath, him getting the vaccine.
No, he's good. He's just, had a little achy and sore, just like having the flu, I guess. It was like, something to that point. It was just, he was beat up and sore, just didn't feel well, but the next day he was fine.
Yeah. How is the podcast? I've been listening. Just Awkward Buddies is the podcast. A lot of fun. How did that whole thing start?
It's been going great. We love it. It's just, two of my buddies, and we just, we talk well with each other. We just, have a good time with it. And it's been like 4 years in the making. And then, we talked about it. And 2 years ago, I bought the stuff. I just never, never panned out. And then finally I just said, screw it, we're doing it. And we just did it. And here we are.
I feel like after listening to you and Volante talk, I feel like you need to add him in to tell more camp stories, because I feel like that guy would be full of Stipe stories.
Yeah, if you lived in town, he'd be on. He'd be part of it. There's no question. I
was enjoying his story about, was it the Barley House, the shirting incident? I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. He's a hot mess sometimes. That's why I love the guy.
Absolutely. So with that being said, obviously the pandemic in Ohio has altered and changed. Obviously it's a lot different than it was when you tried to get into camp the last time. So how has it been this time around? Because we've been a lot more opened up than a lot of states. Obviously we're not fully opened up, but I mean we are, which is we're still wearing masks and things like that, but we're not locked down quite as hard. How has it been for this camp versus the last one for DC?
Yeah, it's about the same. We're doing the same thing we did last camp. I just this time we can't use a pool because it's winter out. I'm using the rec center, so that's open, which is good. So yeah, I mean it's about the same. It just sucks that we can't really, live normal life right now because we have to wear masks all the time. Which it's better safe than sorry, and we'll get past that. But yeah, I mean it's about the same, honestly.
Yeah, it feels like there is an end goal in sight, though. I'm actually getting vaccinated today after we talk.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. So it feels like we're coming towards the end. Obviously, I'm sure you saw the show in April. They're doing in Florida with fans. So it seems like we are starting to get back to some sense of normalcy now.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm hoping for. So.
Yeah. Now, before we get to the fight stuff, I also got to say congratulations, because I saw you and Ryan have a baby boy on the way.
Yeah, my wife's pregnant. She'll be having the baby end of August. So we're super excited. Blessed. We have one, but why not more and make a little army? So we got two. If it was a girl, I would have been just as happy. I wanted one of each, but my wife said if we had another girl, we've been trying for another one to get a boy, because she wants to have one on her side, because she's definitely a daddy's girl.
I know you have absolutely embraced fatherhood. How excited are you for baby number 2?
I am excited, but then I was thinking the other night, I'm like, man, I gotta be waking up early and every couple hours feeling it, which I don't care, but it's like, man, we got to get things going now, back to square one, but it's gonna be a lot easier, because, we had the first one and we understood what we had to do. And of course, not every baby's the same, but we're just excited, man. We're just, both our families are excited. We, my brother-in-law and his wife, they're having a baby a few weeks prior. So we're getting bigger.
That's awesome. So are you building the Stipe armor? Are we talking like 6-7 kids, or what are you thinking?
Well, baby steps.
I like the Stipe army. I like building. I'm just coming up with ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get to Francis, I know we did get a chance to catch up after the fight. We talked before the fight, but obviously it's been months now. But I just want to ask you, what does it feel like, finally putting that DC trilogy behind you? Because that ate up so much of your life for like 2 or 3 years, where it was just all about Daniel Cormier. And I think I asked you that before the fight. Like, are you ready to just move beyond this because you've had to kind of be focused on this one guy for so long? How happy were you to put that behind you? And obviously, I know you always had a lot of respect for DC, but to kind of close things out the way you did.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm happy and excited, and just past it now. And right now, I'm all worried about is France come up here soon. So that's all I care about.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. He's a great competitor, man. He's we had a good trilogy. I think it was great, and I think people loved it, and that's what people want to see.
Yeah. So obviously the Francis rematch has been looming for a little bit now with the streak he's been on. Rematches are always weird because when you beat a guy, pretty dominantly, I've heard some mixed results. Some guys say, it's hard to get up for a guy that you've already beaten that way and things like that. And it wasn't like you went out there and knocked him out in the first round and somebody could say, oh, you got a lucky punch or you caught him early or anything like that. You dominated him for the better part of, every minute of every round for 5 rounds. I know you've never been a guy to sit here and say, I won't fight that guy, but how does it feel going into a rematch with Francis knowing how the first fight went?
Well, it won't be nothing like the first fight because, he's definitely gotten better and so have I. And a lot of things are going to change. I'm trying to make it, a more one-sided fight. And, of course, trying to end it early. But, he's definitely, he's gotten better. Man hits hard. And, it's a heavyweight division, so anything can happen.
Yeah. When you look at what Francis has done, I know you're not a guy who sits around and, you're not obsessing over film of your opponents. You kind of let Marcus and the guys at the gym do that. But obviously Francis has gone on a pretty incredible runs, since then. A lot of knockouts, Cain Velasquez Jr., of course, Jairzinho in his last fight. But we still haven't seen him really do a whole lot different because he's been knocking guys out. Now that's a credit to Francis, obviously, but is there evidence that do you believe he's developed and he's evolved since that first fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, he's got good guys. He's got a great coach and a great team, and they're definitely working with him, making it better. So, I mean, definitely have gotten better. But, so have I. I mean, it just, I think we're in the midst of their game plan the best is going to win. And, he's definitely gotten better, but he also he's got that one factor. Everyone thinks it's hard, and he does. He does it hard. Just gotta watch out for it.
Obviously, you're not Junior, you're not Cain, you're not Jairzinho, but is there? I mean, without giving away secrets, because obviously I don't think you're giving away secrets by asking you this question, but like, what are guys doing wrong when they fight Francis? Because he obviously has tremendous power. Again, there's no doubt about that. But like, it's kind of crazy that like the way he's been able to knock people out, the way he's done it. And I don't know. Do you feel like guys are just making mistakes or approaching him the wrong way? Like, I don't want you to give away your secrets, but like, are people just fighting him wrong?
Yeah, it could be. I think so. I mean, every fighter's different. Everyone has a different game plan, but yeah. I don't know. Listen, man, I'm not in those guys' corner. I listen to my coaches. The reason I'm where I'm at is because my coaches and my teammates. So I just keep listening to them and getting better.
Yeah. The last time out, we saw so much of your game in that fight. And I'm weird like this. Like, I love the great first round knockouts. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I also enjoy a 5-round, domination, when you can go out there and kind of break the will of your opponent over 5 rounds. And you did that in a lot of Francis. When you look at this rematch, like obviously you said it's going to be a different fight, but you'd like to dominate even more. But do you believe, like, when you look at this matchup, like, do you feel like ultimately you're always going to be a bit of a bad matchup for a guy like Francis?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bad matchup for anyone, just because like I always say before, me and my coaches, and my coaches come with a great game plan. We work on it for 8 to 10 weeks, and that's how we work on, and as long as I listen to the game plan and do what I'm told, then I'll be fine.
Yeah. When you look at the result, obviously it doesn't matter as long as you walk out there with your championship, but would it mean more to go out there and finish him this time, to go out there and put him away? You were very, very close the last time, and credit to him for finding a way to stick around, but would it mean more to beat him and finish him and kind of put Francis, I imagine beating him a second time, you kind of put Francis behind you for good?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, definitely, everyone's always looking for finish, and it'd be great, and of course that's what I'm looking for, but if it don't happen, I'm okay with the decision. I mean, I don't care if it's a knockout, submission, or a decision, and I'm getting my hand raised. That's all I'm going to do. I'm walking out, and so that's all you're going to hear. My hand raised and belt wrapped around my waist. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, absolutely. With the fight with DC, I remember going into that fight, there was a lot of conversation about fighting in the smaller cage in the Apex. Obviously, you ended up dominating, that fight and defended your title. How was it fighting in the smaller cage? And are you glad you had that experience, now that you're going in against a guy like Francis?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I train in a cage like that at my gym. It's about the same size. So it's nothing new to me. And it just, big cage or small cage, just depends how you use it, and that's, I think, if you use it to your advantage, it works well.
Everyone made a big deal about the last time because they assumed that DC was going to try to wrestle you. Obviously, you ended up dominating so much of the clinch positions and things like that. Now, in the reverse, is there something to be said that maybe the smaller cage might be an advantage for you over a guy like Francis in terms of your clinch work, in terms of your wrestling? Because so many people made a big deal about that, and you ended up kind of turning it against DC. Do you feel like maybe the small cage might actually benefit you against Francis?
I think any cage will benefit. You just, like I said, depends how you use it. But he's a big, strong guy, and he's not going to let me try to do that. So, I'm definitely going to try to do it. And if it gets to that point, I'll definitely try to do it. But yeah, I mean, it depends where it goes. Honestly, it's just, if it works for me, good. If it doesn't, I'll figure something else out.
Yeah. Is there any small part of you, Stipe, that's a little disappointed you're going to be the last pay-per-view in the Apex before we get fans back? Like, was there any part of you that's like, man, I wish we could do this in front of fans?
Yeah, I mean, the fans are what makes the sport. It's the reason why it's so growing so fast, and people love it because it's so crazy good and awesome, and they love it. And yeah, I mean, it does suck, but I'm okay without the fans too. We'll see the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Stipe, this question's coming, and I feel like I know your answer ahead of time, but we know what's next for you. If you beat Francis, the next fight, as it's been said a million times, is going to be Jon Jones. Go ahead, sorry.
When I beat Francis.
When you beat Francis, it's going to be Jon Jones. Before I get to Jon Jones, like, is it nice knowing, like, you kind of have, like, your 2021 in a way laid out for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, just like right now, though, all I'm worried about is the fight coming up right now with Francis. That's all I care about. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about Jon Jones, so I take care of business.
Yeah. Is there a little bit of excitement though in terms of legacy, in terms of heavyweight fights? I mean, listen, I know I brought up Jon to you before just because I feel like that's one of those epic fights that I want to see before it's all said and done. Like, I know you can't get excited about it right now, but is there like a bit of excitement knowing that guy's coming, and that's because that's a big fight for your legacy too. Let's be honest, Stipe.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, all I'm worried about is Francis. That's all I care about. It's task at hand right now, and he's the only one.
Yeah. At this point in your career, Stipe, you've done so much. And before anyone gets on me and say, why are you trying to retire Stipe? I'm not trying to retire Stipe. I'm just asking the honest question. As a guy who has already accomplished so much in your career, Francis Ngannou, coming into this, he's absolutely earned this rematch. When you look at his last 4 fights, there's no denying he's earned this rematch. And this is a very big fight. But if you beat him a second time, you just vanquished arguably the other scariest guy in the division besides yourself. And then you go to Jon Jones, greatest light heavyweight of all time. Some people would say the greatest fighter of all time, pound for pound. You beat him. At what point does it become diminishing returns? Like, do you just have to gauge your interest with every fight? Like, how do you approach it? Because, like, I don't feel like you're a guy who's always gonna be like, I know you're a guy who always says, just give me the next guy. But you get through these 2 guys. I mean, come on, let's be honest. That's like life-changing, career-changing kind of legacy stuff.
Yeah, definitely. When I beat Francis again, no, yeah, I mean, definitely. But like I said right now, it's all I'm worried about is, Francis, and that's all I care about. And, once we get to that, we'll take care of it.
Yeah. I remember having this conversation with you after you knocked out Fabricio Verdum. And I remember you saying that, you wanted to keep the championship and you wanted to retire as champion one day. You didn't put an end goal in mind and saying like 5 more fights, 10 more fights, whatever. But you said you wanted to retire as champion. We actually now have 2 examples of that in the sport. GSP obviously walked away as a champion, and we just saw last night, Khabib Nurmagomedov is officially retired. I don't know why we didn't say he was officially retired in October, but that's neither here nor there. He is officially retired now, and he retired as champion. When you look at those kind of legacies, and again, this may not happen for you for a couple years down the road, but like, do you feel like that's the way you want to go out when it's all said and done? Like, you want to go out and have that kind of, because unfortunately we don't have a lot of examples of that in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, of course. Who doesn't want to go out on top? And Once I get to that point, but right now I'm having fun and I like winning, and I'm gonna keep winning.
Yeah, obviously, and you also, I mean, again, age is just a number in a lot of instances, and it seems like weirdly where you're at right now, am I wrong in that? I mean, I know you're going into a heavyweight title fight, but like it feels like you're still very much in the prime of your career right now. Am I wrong?
No, I feel like that. I definitely feel that way. I'm getting better. I mean, I'm a little bit later, but I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm faster. I'm better in shape. I'm more efficient. So yeah, I mean, definitely. So the good thing about heavyweights now, they have more longevity, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're not a big prediction guy, Stevie. I'm not going to ask you to tell me the round and play Conor McGregor and say, point to the actual the round in the minute you're going to win this fight. But in a perfect world, how would you envision a fight with Francis playing out in terms of what do you want out of yourself? What do you want to see out of yourself in this fight?
Getting that win, no any means necessary. I don't care. I'm going to get that win. I'm going to walk out with my hand raised, belt wrapped around my waist, and still nothing's going to change. You'll find out, come Saturday.
I love it. Stipe, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. I always appreciate it. Please give Ryan my best with the baby on the way, man. I know you guys are excited about that, and I'm sure she's probably ready to lose her mind right now with the baby girl, baby boy, and your title fight coming up, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, so she's a rock. She's awesome. I'm lucky to have her.
Absolutely. Well, Stipe, thank you as always for taking the time. Obviously, safe travels out to Las Vegas. Best of luck in the fight. And as always, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, brother. I'll talk to you later, man. Have a great week.
Hey, you too. Talk to you soon.